a democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
Welcome into the Sportsocracy. Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene. It's a Tuesday morning. We've got football tonight. We had football last night. It's now, day 6 of 10 straight days of football. Didn't get much talk about college football on the Monday show, so we'll talk some of that today, as well as looking at, in the baseball playoffs, we've got the Atlanta Braves, who have not lost a game. They won Game 1 of the National League Championship Series last night over the Los Angeles Dodgers, 5-1. And you got the Tampa Bay Rays that are up 2-0 right now on the Houston Astros, which a lot of people are taking great pride in. The fact that Houston is trailing 2-0 in that series, and oh, how the cheater memes are circulating around the world right now. Also, Chad Ochocinco lets us know what his favorite movie is, and brings back quite fond memories for me. All of it.
It was in a movie I saw.
Probably not.
Sweet.
Because you don't immerse yourself in the culture.
I don't movie.
At the Sportsocracy on all of the social medias. Check it out, like it, share it, follow it, and be sure to hit that notifications button so you'll know every time we go live right here in the Sportsocracy. Also, don't forget the link to the merch store is in the description of this and every video that we put out. You can get your Spencer Greene 2020 t-shirts, as well as coffee mugs and the like. All right, Jeremy, so last night, Monday Night Football, the New Orleans Saints just barely eked by the Los Angeles Chargers after being down big in the first half. What was your takeaway from the game?
Chargers should have won this game. And it's about the Chargers could very easily be 5-0. They could very easily be 5-0. They should have beaten the Chiefs. They could have beaten the Panthers. They should have beaten the Bucks and the Saints. Mm-hmm. And Justin Herbert is a dude.
He is.
There's no other way to put that. Justin Herbert is a dude.
Throwing for 4 touchdowns last night. Is it too soon to say that this rookie quarterback class is already exceeding expectations, even though we haven't seen Tua yet?
You're going to have to elaborate on that. How is it exceeding expectations?
Well, for me...
Do you think Joe Burrow has been better than you thought he would be? Because he's not even in the ballpark to me.
Really?
No.
Of what you thought he would be as a rookie?
Nope. Not even in the ballpark.
What, did you think he was going to come into the league, start throwing 500-yard games immediately?
Joe Burrow's been better, Justin Herbert's been better, and it's not close. Okay. It's not even vaguely close, actually. It's been by 10 miles. I will bet you $1 to a donut there is somebody in the Bengals front office right now going, we might have fucked this up. I'm telling you right now.
Wow.
They will never admit it out loud. Joe Burrow can't throw to the outside. He's got his star receiver is on the bench Sunday going, just trade me. Mm-hmm. And Justin Herbert has been the dude. Yeah, there's somebody in Cincinnati going, we boo-booed this. We couldn't possibly have known, but yeah, we boo-booed this.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's quite an indictment 5 games into the season.
It's with quarterbacks, it's just not that hard to figure out. I mean, you tell me the quarterback you've ever looked at and gone, he doesn't look like he belongs in the NFL, and then all of a sudden he turned into a Pro Bowler. Mm-hmm. Doesn't happen. And tell me how many guys you looked at and went, God, he's great, and then he fell off the world, short of an injury. Mm-hmm. I mean, 5 games in, it's not that hard to figure out. And Burrow, I think Burrow's going to get better. Zach Taylor's asking him to do way too much. But Justin Herbert is incredibly good. And he did it last night without Keenan Allen for the vast majority of the game. Mm-hmm. Hey, and Mike Williams got hurt again because, of course, he did.
Well, I mean, he didn't look like he was limping too bad coming off of the field.
Well, he got broke in half in about 47 pieces.
He did. They crumpled him up pretty good as they stopped him on 4th down on that drive in overtime. So, look, I get it. Justin Herbert has been well beyond what I imagined he would be. this early in the season. First off, because I didn't think he would play this early in the season. And he has been phenomenal. Again, a 4-touchdown performance last night on Monday Night Football on the road in New Orleans. I get it, there's no fans, but that's still a lot going up against Drew Brees. But I told you, when you said Chargers in the money line, I never bet against Drew Brees at home.
Oh, well, I'm going to level with you. This didn't have a whole hell of a lot to do with Drew Brees. Drew Brees looked god-awful for the vast majority of this game. The problem is that the Chargers are a young team and they can't close. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what the deal is. They've led in the fourth quarter of every game they played. And they just can't close games down for whatever reason. You do have to learn to win in the NFL. And this defense, I don't know if it's because Kenneth Murray, the rookie's calling the plays. I don't know what it is. But they cannot close in the fourth quarter to save their lives. But they were the better team last night. That money line call was not – I mean, it was wrong in that it didn't pay, but it was not wrong. Mm-hmm. They were the better team last night, and that's not debatable.
Yeah, I think things would have changed if the Saints had everybody there. But I feel here's another sign, though, a good sign for Drew Brees, in my opinion. This Emmanuel Sanders thing is starting to work.
It's not going to be when can't guard Mike comes back.
This is 3 weeks in a row now that Emmanuel Sanders has had really good production for that offense. And I'm not saying that it's going to continue on this level. He's not going to have 100-yard games every week, but it's starting to look like what I expected it would be at the beginning of the season. Because with the questions about Drew Brees' arm strength, I thought Emmanuel Sanders coming over made perfect sense. It was the perfect marriage between these two. It didn't start out well, but over the last few weeks, it's becoming more and more of a thing. And I think
you're saying two wrong. It's been 2 weeks. 2. And one of them, they were getting slaughtered. Mm-hmm. And they had to throw. Mm-hmm. I'm not as... I mean, Emmanuel Sanders is fine. He's a decent 2. When Mike Thomas comes back, it doesn't matter. And that'll be the next game the Saints play.
You don't see that as a regular thing that will continue?
Drew Brees cannot sustain 3 fantasy-relevant targets right now. Mm-hmm. And Mike Thomas is 1, Alvin Kamara is 2. Emmanuel Sanders will be 1,000% irrelevant the minute Mike Thomas comes back.
Okay.
I mean, think about it. He's not throwing enough for 1. He's not doing it well enough for 2. I mean, Drew Brees looks 41 years old. Mm-hmm. Weird how Father Time keeps doing that to guys. Weird. Used to be 47-year-old quarterbacks just played in the NFL and looked great.
Right.
No, they didn't.
See, I didn't see anything last night that gave me concerns about Drew.
Then you didn't watch that game. You watched another game that happened some other time. Because if you watch that and don't have concerns about Drew Brees, I don't know how to help you.
Okay.
He looked 1,000 years old. And literally, I don't think he threw more than 2 or 3 passes that went more than 20 yards, and one of them took Alvin Kamara catching it off somebody's head. Mm-hmm. Which was dumb. Alvin Kamara, if you don't get it on Alvin Kamara, I cannot help you. Because he's real damn good.
Mm-hmm. He is indeed.
That's my expert analysis. He's real damn good.
Yeah. I will not be surprised to see the Chargers start talking about making a kicking change. This is now, is this the 3rd time in 5 weeks that Michael Badgley has cost them a win? It's at least twice.
He's not been particularly good.
He's not been. I mean, he's fine throughout the game, and then clutch situation comes. We need a big kick in the fourth quarter.
Well, I mean, this is like a microcosm of life.
Right.
How many guys can talk to the pretty girl at the bar, and while they're buying drinks, she loves him, but as soon as he pulls his car keys out, she goes... Can't do that. can't do that.
You just can't close the deal. 30-27 in overtime last night. It was a good Monday Night Football game. 30-27. Saints beat the Chargers. Saints go to 3-2 now and that puts them tied with the Panthers at the top of the division.
Yeah.
Which is still gross to me to say.
Yeah, that's a division that is... I think it's good, but it's not as good as we thought it was. I don't think the Saints nor the Bucs are as good as I thought they were. Mm-hmm. Because they have 40-plus-year-old quarterbacks that are showing it.
Mm-hmm. And both have I will say, market holes on their defense. And that's going to cause you problems down the road.
I will say somebody in one of the groups I'm in on social media posted last night. It was just a year ago. We were talking about Marshawn Lattimore being better than Marlon Humphrey.
Yep.
Yeah, that went away quick.
It did, but he made a big play last night when he needed to.
Against Mike Williams, who literally wiped his ass one time and broke his collarbone. I don't know if that's true, but I'm assuming it is.
He flops more than Anthony Davis.
He gets hurt a lot. Like, I think when God made Mike Williams, he made him out of popsicle sticks.
Possibly.
He's so talented, but every time he hits the ground, I go, oh, shit. There he goes.
The three-way tie at the top of the NFC South. You can't leave out the Bucks. You just can't leave them out. All those teams, Saints, Bucks, and the Panthers, all 3-2 in the first 5 weeks of the season.
Panthers are a lot better than I thought they'd be.
The Panthers are?
A lot better.
Yes. I think everybody is surprised by what the Carolina Panthers are bringing. By the way, debut of the Ron Cam.
I love the Ron Cam. I'm a big fan of the Ron Cam.
So yeah, we're playing with it. If you're watching the stream and you cannot hear him properly or what, just let us know. We're testing this out. Right. We're testing this all out. It's a building process here at the Sportsocracy. Follow, share, and like at the Sportsocracy on all the social medias. The Carolina Panthers are the surprise of the season for me. Through the first 5 weeks, I don't think there's another team that I have changed my mind on more than the Carolina Panthers. The only other one that has a way better record than I thought they would at this early stage of the season is the Cleveland Browns, and I'm still not ready to believe in them.
I'm not ready to believe in the Browns, and I'm never gonna.
Never gonna.
I'm not. As long as Baker Mayfield's your quarterback. Last night taught you everything you need to know. All right, what did you think about the Chargers coming into the season? Because you were further down on them than I was. You thought they were good, but not great.
I thought they were a decent 8-8 team.
Why? Because they had Tyrod Taylor as their quarterback. Mm-hmm. You looked at the rest of the talent, and when the talent's good enough to get you to 7-9, 8-8, 9-7.
Yep.
Now they have a legitimate big boy NFL quarterback, and they beat the piss out of the Saints for 3 quarters. Mm-hmm. That's how important the quarterback position is in this league. You either have one or you don't. Mm-hmm. And I'll be honest with you, it's not that hard to figure out who has them and who doesn't have them. And yeah, what's Herbert played? 3 games now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the dude. That's their dude for 10 years.
Got to be.
Short of injury or some weird situation, that's their guy for 10 years.
Yes, absolutely. And when I said, is this class already above and beyond what you expected, I tend to go with yes on that because I see a future for Joe Burrow to get better.
Oh, I see a future for him. Joe Burrow is one of the 5 highest-rated quarterbacks I've ever had. And he's come in, and I'm not saying it's been bad because it hasn't been bad. But he hasn't been as impressive as I would like for him to have been.
Okay. Justin Herbert, I thought, was going to be a bust.
I didn't think he was going to be a bust. I thought it was going to take some time. Mm-hmm. And it hasn't. And he's real good. And, yeah, that.
And then Tua, I mean, I'm just expecting Tua's going to be great when he comes in next year.
Yeah, we'll know next year.
Yeah.
Because he ain't coming in this year and anytime soon.
Right. Coming up tonight in the NFL, we do have Tuesday night football on CBS, the Bills and the Titans in Nashville.
This is a game I'm going to bet a lot, and I feel very sure I'm on the right side.
The Buffalo Bills are a 3.5-point favorite against the Tennessee Titans, and let me guess, you're taking all those points. Or you're giving all those points, excuse me.
Yeah, I'll lay 3.5 against the bad Tennessee Titans. I think tonight you're going to see what I've said about the Titans.
Okay.
A.J. Brown should be back. Corey Davis had Rona, may not play, don't know. I just think you're going to see that Derrick Henry hasn't been particularly good. This is going to be – the Titans are not a team that are must-watch television, so a lot of people are not seeing what I'm seeing with the Titans. Because I go back and watch the tape, and Derrick Henry's getting exactly what's blocked for him. And for a guy that looked like a Terminator last year, that's kind of unsettling. Mm-hmm. And when Derrick Henry's not on time, that offense is not on time. And so you're playing, to me, the best defense in the league. and you've got Josh Allen that is going to be absolutely just. I did it on purpose.
I know you did.
Yeah, now I'm by the end of this, I might call him Josh Elon.
Elon.
The Titans are not as good as I thought they were, and I think it's going to be unveiled tonight. I think the Bills win this comfortably. I don't think the Titans score a lot of points. I'm going to take the under.
Under 52.5.
Because that's too many. That's too many for a game involving the Buffalo Bills. Mm-hmm. And I understand they've been in some shootouts, but they've been in some shootouts with teams that are really good offensively, and the Titans aren't.
Not going to have to score a whole lot of points to beat the Tennessee Titans, or at least normally you wouldn't have to score that many points.
Well, I mean, they're just not enough. The Titans are one of those fun teams like the Browns to me, in that you don't do anything overly well. You do everything pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Browns at least run the ball well. They just have a quarterback that is Baker Mayfield. That's actually his biggest drawback, is his Baker Mayfieldness.
Mm-hmm.
I just look at the Titans and go, you're playing what I think is probably the best team in the NFL. And I like your chances.
Really? The best team in the NFL?
Who's better?
What about your Cowboys?
Hey, piss down the road. How about that?
You got the Cowboys and the Cardinals? Are those two
Oh. Hey. That Cardinals pick is not dead yet. That Cowboys pick is
Despite the loss to Kansas City Chiefs? Are still not atop your power rankings?
Yeah. You lost to the Raiders at home. That's going to hurt your standing just a hair.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't fall far. They fell to 3.
Okay.
But, I mean, yeah, Kansas City's not the best team in the NFL to me.
All right.
Namely because Kansas City has a huge flaw. And it got unveiled against the Raiders, who are not a great defense.
Mm-hmm.
You want to take a stab at what that fatal flaw is? They can't run a greasy peg up a cat's ass. You drafted a running back in the first round, and he can't run. He's a great pass catcher. He's fat Darren Sproles. That's what I call Clyde Edwards-Helaire now. He's fat Darren Sproles.
Fat Darren Sproles. I hadn't thought about it that way, but
he's got Darren Sproles' talent in Jamal Williams' body.
Fozzie Whitaker. You remember him?
I do, but that
Played
doesn't
for the Carolina
Yeah,
Panthers.
that doesn't apply here because he was real fast. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is not real fast. He gets out in space and he turns into a bowling ball.
Or no, not Fozzie. Mike Tolbert.
Yeah, that's
that guy.
Mike Tolbert ran like a 6'2", 40. I mean, I'm down on Edwards-Helaire, but shit.
No, I'm saying
Mike Tolbert he outweighed him by 40
stature-wise.
pounds. If you're wanting to equate Clyde Edwards-Helaire to somebody, it's probably fat Jamal Williams. I can't really get away from that comparison because they're the same running back to me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look, they catch passes. Woohoo! Yeah, and when you run them between the guards, they just fall down.
Right. It's not working for him.
That's my thing with the Bills, though. They're the one team in the NFL that I can't tell you what their flaw is. How do you beat them?
Mm-hmm.
They have an MVP level quarterback. They've run the ball reasonably well. And I think they can get better at that. Then you got Stephon Diggs and John Brown, and then the defense trots out there, and you just go, well, shit. This is not going to be fun.
Right.
Because they all look angry, and whoever your best receiver is going to get Tre'Davious White. Yeah, I have the Bills at 1.
All right.
I will unveil my power rankings tomorrow. I changed my mind on that.
Okay.
I was originally going to release them today, but since there's a game left, I looked at the Tennessee Titans and went, I don't know where to put you.
And if they win tonight by some chance,
If they win, the bigger problem will be that pigs are flying around the county. There will be free bacon flying in the clouds.
All right. So week 5 in the NFL, not quite done. We got one more game tonight.
I don't know that I could, I've heard a lot of talk about why do we not play on Tuesdays anyway. I don't know that I could physically take much more of this. I haven't been asleep before midnight in like a month, which is why I have bags under my eyes that look like I'm going on a Delta Airlines flight.
Is that a normal cycle for you?
Not sleeping? Yes. Patrick Holt said, but remember the Bills D gave up 28 points to Miami in week 2. Yeah, that same Miami team that just put damn near half 100 on the reigning NFC champions.
Mm-hmm.
That offense ain't bad. That's not the problem in Miami. Miami's problem is that they can't stop anybody.
Yep.
Except Jimmy G. Apparently, they are Jimmy G kryptonite. Because Jimmy G channeled his inner Achilles Smith.
Speaking of not being able to stop anybody, not only are we seeing the highest scores in the NFL since the merger, but college football also has turned into track meets.
Yeah, just bet the over on everything.
All over the place. The new top 25 came out yesterday, and North Carolina jumped in the rankings once again. It's hard for me to believe that North Carolina is a top 5 team.
Oh, for those of you that don't listen to our ESPN Asheville show, which can be found on the iHeartRadio app, just search The Sports Tank with Jeremy Greene. I have North Carolina at 3.
3.
Mm-hmm. And tell me how I'm
Makes me all
wrong.
warm and tingly inside.
And tell me how I'm wrong. They're, 7th in the nation rushing, and they have a Heisman Trophy candidate quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I understand they can't stop anybody. Nobody can stop anybody. Hell, Alabama gave up $500 to fat Lane Kiffin.
And that's one
If
thing.
Lane Kiffin doesn't have an endorsement deal with Country Crock by the end of this year, they're doing it wrong. Because he would be the perfect person to do a commercial with I could just see him with the Pillsbury Doughboy. Like, almost there.
Oh.
We look like twins.
He is starting to get that Frank Beamer jowl going.
He's getting. Oh, he ain't Frank Beamer yet.
No.
Frank Beamer worked on that. Frank Beamer is what I'm going to look like in about 20 years if I can make it that long.
Mm-hmm. Lane Kiffin's on his way. He's only got 10.
Yeah, he's only a few. He's a few years older than I am.
Yeah, but I'm saying he's got 10 more years before he gets to jowl stage.
Yep.
Frank Beamer jowl stage. On Saturday, though, what was the biggest surprise for you? For me, it was Texas A&M beating Florida.
That was a surprise to me, except for the fact Texas A&M is not as bad as I say they are, and Florida's defense is awful. I mean, Florida can't stop anybody. Hell, they couldn't stop South Carolina. Mm-hmm. It's just Will Muschamp cared way more about covering than he did about actually winning, because I'm pretty sure he put a bill or two on his own team. I don't really believe that. That was a joke.
That's a hell of an indictment.
But, when you run a 4-minute offense down 3 scores with 10 minutes to go, I'm going to ask questions.
Right.
I mean, my biggest surprise, how bad Georgia looked for a half.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they did. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Georgia looked like shit for a half.
Yep.
And people don't seem to be overreacting to that because, Tennessee's good. No, they're not. No, they're not. Watch them play football. Jared Gorentano threw 2 of the most god-awful interceptions I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. They're not a good football team, and I really would like to wait to tell you this because I feel like this is Friday information that I'm giving you on Tuesday, and I'm talking about you, not them.
Yeah.
Because them, I give all the information like a fountain of happiness. But who does Georgia play this week?
Alabama.
What's the line in that game?
Don't know. 6. Alabama by 6.
Not nary enough. It ain't even kind of a little bit close to enough because they are going to get dusted like a powdered donut in this game.
Against Bama?
Hell yes. Alabama's going to beat the bejesus out of them.
Oh, you're wrong about that.
Okay. Okay. You keep telling yourself that.
I am.
What was the big drawback of Alabama coming into this year?
The big drawback?
Mm-hmm. What was the reason that we didn't go, that's easily the best team in the country? What was the difference between them and Clemson? Clemson has sunshine, and Alabama had Mac Jones. Mm-hmm. And we all went, but can Mac Jones be the best? Can he be the quarterback on the best team in the country? And the answer is yes, he can. And you don't have a quarterback because you're playing Cowboy Hat Bennett.
I don't know. That Georgia defense is real good.
When your quarterback's name is Stetson, you did it wrong.
Really?
Yeah. I hope your next quarterback's named Cowboy Boots Jackson. Woohoo!
The next quarterback's name is JT Daniels.
Yeah, it is.
And it's not going to be long before you see JT
Yeah,
Daniels.
I'm going to be real honest with you. If JT Daniels has a breathing pulse on Saturday, he's the quarterback that plays in this game.
He should be.
He should be the quarterback playing anyway. Mm-hmm. How much worse could he be?
Who, Stetson?
No. How much worse could
Oh.
JT Daniels be than Cowboy Boots Bennett? That's what I'm calling it from now on. I like that way better.
Boots Bennett.
Yeah, it's got that alliteration thing because they all start with the same letter.
Nice.
I like that.
Nice. Now, granted, they let Alabama get up to a big early lead. It's going to be hell because you cannot afford to give them a lead. And that's something that Georgia has done in every game they played so far.
Yeah, because they're not overly good. Georgia right now
that defense is overly good.
Is it, though?
Yes.
Okay, let's play a fun game. Let's go down this rabbit hole. I keep hearing how good this Georgia defense is, and we should all be worried about them. I mean, you gave up 21 to a Tennessee team that doesn't have a fucking quarterback. I mean, I don't really know how to assist you there because they're good. They're not good enough to cover up how deficient your offense is because your offense has been anemic.
It has been.
You have to be put in great position to score against Tennessee. Oh, God. I really was hoping you were going to be rational and say, you're right, Alabama's probably going to cover, and it's not going to be that close. And then you told me I was out of my mind saying that you're going to get dusted.
You are out of your mind.
Okay.
This is a field goal game, if anything.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Oh,
Georgia has
God,
had
you're
some
doing that thing again.
What?
You're overhyping your team. They're not nearly as good as you think they are.
Okay.
So you talk about your defense. You understand Alabama's is just as good, right? Like you understand that. And their offense is light years ahead of yours. Because I think Nick Saban is Frankensteining receivers in his office in Tuscaloosa. Because I think every time I watch them play, they have a new 6'2" receiver that runs a 140 or some ignorant shit. I think he's crossbreeding them with cheetahs. I don't understand where you keep finding these guys. God, they're going to dust you. No. Jesus, God, I'm going to come in here in an elephant costume on Monday.
You're insane. I have never wanted Georgia to win this game so bad.
Yeah, well, I wanted Eva Longoria until I was about 30 years old, and guess what? About the same result.
Did not happen.
Shit in one hand, want in the other. See which one fills up faster.
I couldn't believe when you unveiled your top 25 yesterday on the ESPN Asheville show.
Then I forgot Miami.
That you that was a big one. Yeah, forgot to rank Miami.
Who
completely.
I'm really high on, and I've still forgot them.
No, it was it was the fact that you had BYU in the top six.
They're 6. And I got news for you. They're going to be a problem because they're not going to lose a game. And they're going to beat most of the teams they play by 1 billion.
And they will climb no higher than that 6th spot.
And they may not. But I'm telling you right. So when I do rankings, it's a combination of looking towards the future because I love being right, and who am I most scared of right now? Zach Wilson's a great quarterback, and he's going to be a Heisman candidate. I'm not saying he's going to be there for the ceremony. I'm saying he's going to be a guy we talk about. And BYU plays nobody. Their best game is Boise State. They're going to be a thing. And really, let's be honest. Who behind BYU in my rankings do you go, they beat them? I mean, honestly. I'll give them to you right behind them. Florida probably would beat them. I don't know how they'd stop Zach Wilson. He might throw for 700 yards. Notre Dame, I don't buy Notre Dame until they play somebody of relevance. Oh, we beat Florida State and Duke. Woohoo! You know who else could beat Florida State and Duke? A really big group of Girl Scouts could probably beat Florida State and Duke. I'm a Florida State fan. I'm allowed to say that.
Florida is definitely one.
Yeah, like Adam Cotson just said, Zach Wilson's going to be playing on Sundays. There's no doubt about it. He's an NFL quarterback. Kevin Vick said, no, you didn't forget Miami. No, I did. Miami's better than people think they are. Clemson's just a juggernaut. And there's one team in the ACC that I think can beat them, and they wear blue. Real pretty blue. Like the color of my eyes.
Now
skies and shit.
Now see, you piss me off with all the Georgia talk, and then you get back on my good side with the Carolina talk.
Oh, I don't give a damn what you think about me. I speak the truth, bro. I'm out here dropping truth bombs, bro.
I think you're way off base on that one.
I'm going to be, God, the fact I have your phone number is going to be unfortunate for you on Saturday. I will send you the Alabama fight song every time they score, and it's going to be a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I will be texting you so many times that your wife's going to think something's on fire, thinking that's your ringtone.
Oh, man. In the Big 12, they're irrelevant.
Yeah, they're bad.
They're so irrelevant.
Hey, Big 12, bad.
But at least Oklahoma, they survived.
Did they?
Well,
they're irrelevant to the national title landscape.
Much better than starting out the season 0-3.
Yeah,
or
1-3.
Excuse me.
With a win against Roast Beef, Louisiana School for the Blind, or whatever it was they beat in week 1.
Right. Missouri, was that Missouri?
Missouri State, I believe.
Yeah. But I mean, at least there was that, because you talk about an entire conference that's just in a weird spot right now, because you came into the season thinking we might have 2 teams that vie for the college football playoff, and 2 weeks in, you were shit out of luck.
Yeah, they're done. They don't matter.
And now you've got an Oklahoma team that was in the college football playoff discussion before the season started. They just had eked out a win in overtime over Texas.
I have 3
to avoid losing 3 games in a row, and now you have a Texas team that's lost 2 in a row.
I have 3 Big 12 teams in a row in my top 25, and that's about where they all belong. So Oklahoma State, Kansas State, Iowa State are 13 through 15, and I think that's as high as they're going to get. I look at Oklahoma State, and Chuba Hubbard's really, really good. I don't believe in your quarterback. I like Tylan Wallace because he's a really good receiver. I fear that when you play a good team, they're going to be able to lock down Tylan Wallace. You're going to have to run to beat them, and if you get behind, you're doomed. Now, who that's going to be, I don't know. It could very easily be Oklahoma. Oklahoma has so much more talent, and the more time you give Spencer Rattler to figure this shit out, another great college football name, just let that be known. The 2 I've already said and Cavassier Smoke are the 3 best names in college football. Anyway.
No, wait a minute. How can you put Spencer Rattler on the best names list and put Stetson Bennett on the bad names list?
Because Spencer Rattler is the quarterback at Oklahoma, and his last name's Rattler. Yours is a quarterback in Georgia named Cowboy Hat. That's how. Need more explanation? The problem I have with Oklahoma State, and that's one of the ones that I've heard a lot of flack of, oh, you're too low on them. No, I've just watched them twice. And I don't think they're all that good. And I think when they play a good team, you're going to see it. I don't think there's anybody in the Big 12 that can be even remotely relevant to the playoff discussion.
We haven't talked about this yet. The Mike Leach experiment in the SEC. Apparently that thing's over.
Ooh, buddy.
It only took 2 games for the SEC to look at that and go, yep, that air raid shit.
Oh, yeah, you remember that little cute offense you run? Watch this.
Yeah. 600 yards the first week with KJ Costello, and then they, took a step down the next week, and then just completely got shut down by Kentucky.
KJ Costello went from potential Heisman candidate in week 1 to benched in week 3. That's an aggressive strategy.
Kentucky beat them 24-2, had 6 interceptions, and the only, for Kentucky, it was just a great coaching scheme that they put together.
Mark Stoops is a greatly undervalued coach. He was the defensive coordinator at Florida State for a while. I got to see this defense in action, and of all the problems we had, he was not one of the problems. And he does a great job of recruiting. They love him there, and they absolutely love him in Kentucky. I'm a little surprised he hasn't gotten a bigger job. I know the calls have come, but I don't think the offers have.
I think he's waiting for his right opportunity.
He's
waiting for that big program to call.
I'm a little shocked Florida State didn't call him this past year, but
that's one.
We like to keep screwing shit up.
That's one that I would be remiss.
Our next call's Deion Sanders. Just to let that be known.
Yes.
When the Mike Norvell thing goes to shit in a handbasket, we're calling Deion.
So
Deion, come save us.
3 weeks from now?
Well, I think we're already there, actually. I'm not out on Mike Norvell yet, but damn, I'm getting close. This isn't Willie Taggart bad, but it's bad.
Right. Mississippi State was not good against Kentucky. Couldn't get the job done, and Kentucky just figured out all we got to do is drop 8 in coverage.
Yeah, because that's how you beat Mike Leach.
Yeah.
Especially when their offensive line is a sieve and you're still getting home rushing 3. Their 3's beating your 5. They're dropping 8. This is not going to go well for you.
No. And obviously it did not, as they were not able to get into the end zone at all against Kentucky. And I don't know. So if you're Mike Leach at this point, what are you trying to figure out? How can I abandon my entire system?
Well, Mike Leach just went straight pirate and was like, we're casting guys overboard. That's how we are.
He did, yeah. They're not getting it done. We might have to cut him.
He went nanners and just started talking about, well, might have to cut some guys. What? I want to play for a crazy person. There are very few coaches in this world that I want to coach with more than Mike Leach. Just because even if it's bad, it's going to be funny. Mm-hmm. He thinks he's obsessed with pirates and shit. I can't get away from that. I feel like, we're 2-10. This sucks. But our coach is a crazy person. So I still like coming to work every day.
Right. He's one of those guys that I think he would be more well served if he had a job in the media.
Oh, I'm all the way in. I would like him to sit right here. Just so he can spew nonsensical crazy shit at me and I can just look at him and go, what? Were those words? Is that English? The one thing that we haven't talked about with college football leading into this week, there's a team that nobody's paying attention to that you really should be paying attention to.
Okay, who's that?
SMU.
Okay. Why is SMU relevant?
Because they have a legitimate quarterback. Shane Michelle's a legitimate quarterback. This was a 5-star recruit, played at Texas, and if you look at their schedule, they're in the same boat as BYU because they don't play anybody except that Cincinnati team that everybody seems to be all overboard on because they're going to beat Tulane savagely this weekend, which sets up that's on Friday, I believe. Which sets up Cincinnati SMU to be the game of the week the following week.
Yes. You're right. It is on Friday.
And I'm telling you, whoever wins that game is going to be a threat because they're probably going to go undefeated and they would pass BYU. If they don't get tripped up, they would pass BYU because they're going to have a win over each other.
Now, when you say a threat, are you talking about a threat for the playoff?
Yes. 100%.
I don't understand how you make those things jive in your head, though, because you are one that has said, I don't care if Ohio State runs the table in the Big Ten. I'm not willing to.
I don't think Ohio State's going to run the table in the Big Ten.
Okay. Put yourself in the scenario of most people who believe that Ohio State will run the table in the Big Ten.
What other people think doesn't mean jack shit to me.
Oh, I get that.
I don't care. I think
that.
They're going to get tripped up like everybody else seems to be. Because I don't think you can not have team activities for 14 years or however long the Big Ten just sat on their thumbs. And you can have all this instability and all these guys leave the program and all these guys opt out and opt in and it not affect you. I don't buy it. And I'm not saying that there's anybody in the Big Ten that's going to be so talented that they're going to beat them on merits. What I'm saying is that there is a entire possibility that they're going to get tripped up. And if you lose one game, you're out. You lose one game in the Big Ten this year, you're done. I don't give a fuck who you are. Ohio State loses by 1 to Penn State. They're irrelevant. Bye. Because you don't have enough good wins. I'll go one step further.
Right.
If SMU beats Cincinnati, that Cincinnati win is better than anything Ohio State will have. See, because what you're not understanding, and you haven't seemed to understand since we started doing this, is that when you don't have non-conference, and Ohio State doesn't have that game with Oregon, and you don't have the game with USC or whoever else it is you put on your schedule, you're left with a lot of Rutgers, Nebraska, and Maryland. And you know what that is? It's the Mountain West. It's just a hell of a lot colder. That's all that is. And that's why I've said the Big 12 and the Big 10 are completely screwed this year. Because unless Ohio State's going to have to go style points in every game they play. Justin Fields will not be able to come out of any game they play because he's going to have to beat everybody by 60.
I don't know that it has to be that much.
It does have to be that. Look at the schedule. I mean, this is not that hard. look at the schedule and tell me who it is that they're going to play, who they're going to beat that you feel good about.
But you can't honestly tell me that a team that will have 8 wins, if you're saying they're going to get tripped up once.
They have 8 wins. The Americans going to have 11. Yes, I can. And I can also tell you that I think the American Conference is damn near equivalent to the Big Ten right now. Look at it.
I think you're
This is not that hard. Look at the American, look at the Big Ten. You tell me. I'm not saying they're not. I'm not saying they're equivalently deep. What I'm saying is that you have SMU, Cincinnati, Houston-ish, and that's probably. First of all, you have 2 teams that are probably better than the 2 best teams in the Big Ten. They're equivalent.
Okay.
And then you get into like the Tulane's. Tulane's been hard to deal with. East Carolina's hard to deal with because they run such a funky-ass offense. Memphis, same way. UCF, same way. Yeah, I mean, that's equivalent to me. I can literally draw a parallel from one to the other. Cincinnati's their Ohio State. They're ranked 2 spots away from each other, if you don't believe me. SMU's their Penn State, and then the rest of the conference is just meh.
The only reason they're 2 spots away is because Ohio State hasn't played yet.
Okay, so you think they're going to scream up who are they going to pass?
Absolutely.
You think Ohio State's better than North Carolina, Georgia, Clemson, or Alabama right now? The answer is fucking no. It's no, and it doesn't matter what they do. Because they all have a better win than Ohio State has on the schedule. All of them. Georgia or Alabama is going to have a better win than Ohio State has on the whole schedule after this week. And Ohio State doesn't play for another week. This is the part that I haven't seemed to be able to get through your head, is that the ACC and the SEC are so much better that you're not going to pass them. You come in late and you play 7 games. Your little shitty 7-game Big Ten schedule is not going to be enough for me to push you above anybody.
It's not going to be enough for you, but I guarantee you
it's not going to be enough for the voters either.
Bull crap.
Okay, all right.
The fact that
All
they're
right, let's
not
play
even
this game.
playing and they're right outside the top 5 right
Because
now.
half the teams in the country have lost. You tell me. I'll tell you the schedule verbatim.
But
You tell me what game's going to make you feel warm and fuzzy. They play Nebraska, Penn State, Rutgers, Maryland, Indiana, Illinois, Michigan State, and Michigan. Jesus Christ, that's borderline a damn. I mean, that's like an independent schedule. It's god awful. You've got 6 teams on that schedule. Be lucky to win 2 games.
Penn
and you're
State
saying
and
that
Michigan
schedule
matters.
is going to put Ohio State ahead of. There's going to be 2 teams in the SEC that have wins over some cumulative combination of Alabama, Georgia, Florida, and Auburn. You know what? All 4 of those teams are better than any team I just said by a mile.
But you keep switching to the SEC. You're talking about the American Conference. With Cincinnati and SMU.
Cincinnati has a win over SMU and Cincinnati, or will. And I'm going under the hypothetical that, let's say they win out. Let's go to the schedule.
I don't think there's anybody in the world that will equate a win over SMU to a win over Michigan.
When Michigan's 3-5, I believe they will, because Michigan doesn't have a quarterback, and you don't seem to be that for some reason. The fact that the top 2 quarterbacks on their depth chart left the program doesn't seem to be bothering you, and it should, because they're not good. There's 2 guys in the comments that live in Detroit that I damn near guarantee will confirm what I just said.
Okay.
I haven't looked. Robbie Wright said Ohio State goes 7-1. They're in. Disagree completely.
You're right.
100% disagree. No, you're not. Who can they lose to and still get in?
They can lose to Penn State and still get in.
All right, let's go down this rabbit hole. You do realize that Clemson's not going to lose a game, right? And if they do, it's going to be North Carolina. North Carolina's not going to lose a game except to either Notre Dame, Miami, or Clemson. You realize that one-loss team gets in over Ohio State, and it's not close. Like, it's not even debatable. Because you're going to have 3 better wins than anything on that schedule. Adam Cotson lives in Big Ten country, just said Cincinnati finished 12th, would finish 2nd in the Big Ten. And he's right. Okay. And it's not even close.
Okay.
This is another one that I'm really looking forward to being right. Because I've been saying this for months on end, and you just don't seem to be getting it.
No.
The Big Ten has lived on non-conference schedule forever. And now you're going to see winning a shitty conference doesn't matter. We proved it time and time again. How many times has the Pac-12
so if winning
had
a shitty conference doesn't matter, then whoever wins the AAC doesn't matter.
But they've played 11 games against equally legitimate competition, and Ohio State's played 7. Yes, that's going to matter. I've said it the whole time. You can't play 7 games against 5 borderline FCS schools and go, look, we're undefeated. Woohoo!
When you're
it
Ohio
doesn't
State,
matter.
you can. When you're Ohio State and you run the table in the Big Ten, you can. You have that to your credit. And right now,
well, here's the thing. The beauty of this is that the rubber's going to meet the road on this, because two of the three things I'm getting ready to say are going to happen. You're either going to have 2 one-loss teams in the ACC, or you're going to have a very legitimate undefeated ACC team in Clemson. You're going to have 2 SEC teams that are 1-loss, and you're going to have 3 Power 5 schools that are undefeated. And I will bet you $1 to a donut one of them gets in over Ohio State. If for nothing else, and you undervalue the shit out of this, because the decision makers look at the Big Ten and go, you screwed us. Where do all the decision makers in the CFP come from? They're all ADs in Power 5 conferences. Who screwed who? The Big Ten did. And so you think they're not going to take the opportunity to go, screw us again. I'm telling you, you are undervaluing that side of it.
Okay. I disagree because I don't care.
Hell, Kyrie Irving thinks the world's flat. I'm not shocked that you disagree. People are wrong about shit every day.
They keep falling in the poll because they're not playing, but as soon as Ohio State wins a game, they will be in the top
over
5.
Rutgers. So you think them beating Rutgers, who probably doesn't win a game, is going to mean shit to anybody?
Yes.
You're wrong. When you've got all right, who are they going to pass? It's real easy to just say dumb shit. It's when you come to the point of having to defend it that it gets really difficult. What team in front of them are they going to jump? You say, they're at 6 because, look, they believe so much in them. Who are they going to pass? Alabama and Georgia play each other. So that one's going to handle itself. Who are they going to pass?
Everyone that has a loss.
You're out of your – none of them are going to have a loss. That's my point. That's what you're not listening to.
None of them will have a loss? Florida might have a loss
Florida's behind them.
Huh?
Florida's behind them. It doesn't matter. There's 5 teams in front of them. Use one of those examples. Who's Carolina going to lose to? Nobody. They played 5 also-rans. They've already beaten the team they needed to. Virginia Tech would be the 3rd best team in the Big Ten, and it's not close. And they still have to beat Miami and Notre Dame. You're telling me they beat those 2 and Ohio State's in front of them? They don't pass them? You're fucking out of your mind. Like I think you got drunk before you walked in here. They beat Notre Dame and Miami. I don't give a damn what Ohio State's done because their second best win's going to be 5-3 Michigan, whose best win will be against Nebraska. Oh, that was cathartic. I wanted to yell for like an extended period of time.
I love that I could be that outlet for you.
I do enjoy it. I do enjoy it. There are times I think you piss me off just to see if I'll yell at you. Yeah, I knew that.
I do.
And I fell for it. Now my blood pressure's up and I need a cookie.
There's a story out of Major League Baseball that I feel like we just have to get to. Thankfully, just start
that segment was so good, and then he went, "Hey, let's talk about that sport that nobody gives a shit about."
No. I think you're gonna like this story. Tommy Pham, Padres outfielder, he is thankfully okay. He is in good condition, but apparently he got stabbed out of a titty bar the other night.
Holy shit! I didn't hear this.
He walked outside of the Pacers Showgirls International Gentlemen's Club at 10:30 on Sunday night, and there was apparently an argument going on between 2 people at his car, and I guess he got involved and said, "Hey, you want to get away from my car?" And one of them stabbed him in the back, literally stabbed him in the lower back. Thankfully, no major organs were hit. And he had to have stitches, and he's going to make a full recovery, they say. But can you stop? Can you stop going to titty bars? That's my overall. No.
Oh, that's not my takeaway.
Mr. Center over here.
My takeaway is look, the Ronald Reagan Republican in me said carry a damn gun. I mean, maybe I'm being little dramatic.
Athletes have time and time again proven that they cannot follow gun laws.
Not in Florida, they haven't. You know what Florida's gun laws are? If you don't have one, you're already behind the 8 ball.
Well, this is San Diego, California, so this is a problem.
Oh yeah, they are in California. God, baseball's so stupid.
Yeah.
The Tampa Bay Rays are playing a series with the Houston Astros in California because baseball.
Tampa's winning.
Nobody gave a shit in the 2 cities they live in, so let's move it across the country. That's brilliant.
I mean, nothing good ever comes from that. Most of the stories that you hear when you wind up on the blotter, it never starts with a good reason. Like, oh, he was just mowing his lawn and got stabbed. Just saying. I feel like there's lessons to be learned here that no one is learning.
What? I think I'm missing the lesson here. Are you trying to say strip clubs bad?
Yes.
I'm not.
I know you're not.
That one that Lou Williams
such
went to in
different
Atlanta.
worlds we live in.
We do.
Jesus Christ.
You live in this Joe Biden voting socialist republic head in the clouds bullshit world, and I live in the real one.
I live in the conservative America that doesn't believe
Yeah.
that believes in hiding all of our sins.
What, behind a liquor store?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't. I just put mine out on the table and go, good enough
Here
for
you
you?
go.
Beat this.
But the good news is Tommy Pham is going to make a full recovery. He is in good condition. Only needed stitches for that, but what?
I can't repeat it, but I want to. Our producer, I cannot wait for us to get his camera fixed and ready and rolling because he's one of the funniest humans I've ever met in my life.
Good. That was real good.
When y'all get to hear the things that come out of his mouth that show up on my screen, it's going to be good times.
I don't know. Family Guy and Freak Guy. I don't know.
I'm a
what to
family
call you
guy
anymore.
Banana family guy.
Oh, there is doubt being cast over the tenure of Matt Ryan for the Atlanta Falcons.
I love people talking about him getting traded. You realize he's owed $1 bajillion, right?
He is.
Like, no NFL team. Who has the worst quarterback situation in the NFL?
The worst quarterback
The worst
situation?
one. Who has the most god-awful quarterback room available? Like, not only is it bad, but they don't have anybody waiting in the wings to make it better. It's the Jacksonville Jaguars. It wasn't all that close.
I was gonna say Jacksonville.
Yeah, it's Jacksonville. Jacksonville looks at Matt Ryan and goes, no, we're good. We'll pass. We'll pass because he can't.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Matt Ryan. Atlanta, you made your bed there. You get to lay in that damn vanilla scented god-awful. Good.
There's also a lot of talk right now around one of the other aging quarterbacks in the NFL, and this is the one that made me hesitate on that, the Indianapolis Colts. Because Rivers hasn't been good. You got Jacoby Brissett as the backup, the $20 million backup. That's a pretty bad situation as it looks right now.
Yeah, the Colts, here's the thing. Very rarely do I agree with Keyshawn Johnson, but I really like what he said this morning. The Colts spent themselves into a problem that they already had. They literally spent $20 million on Phillip Rivers to be the exact same person as Jacoby Brissett.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you. I literally think that Andy Dalton could be the starting quarterback of the Colts right now, and they'd be better. Because they wouldn't let him do things, and they'd give the ball to that friggin' Terminator that stands behind him.
Right.
But what do I know? One of these days, an NFL team's going to hire me, and we're just going to go pound town on people.
Because you're going to find them all. You're going to find all the
No,
diamonds
I'm just going to – the ones like Chase Claypool that I'm like, look, you got two choices. Either you make that call, or I'm going to whip your ass, and I'm going to make that call myself. Listen to our draft podcast. We have a bunch of them, and I went back and listened to them. Mm-hmm. I literally don't think I could have done anything short of getting an I Heart Chase Claypool tattoo on my chest.
He was pretty drunk on Chase Claypool coming into the draft. But we'll have quarterback talk coming up this afternoon on the ESPN Asheville show. What should be the moves to make in Dallas and Atlanta. Dallas got a backup quarterback, by the way. Congratulations, Garrett Gilbert. He's back in the NFL.
Cowboy Garrett Gilbert.
That's right. They're just going for all of the Texas hero college quarterbacks.
I'm waiting for him to hire John Voight as an assistant coach.
John Voight?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Varsity, or not Varsity Blues. Is it Varsity?
Yeah, Varsity Blues.
Yeah, Varsity Blues.
Yeah. Bud Kilmer.
I don't want your life.
They need old Bud Kilmer down there running that team. Things would be very, very different.
I want Jodie Foster and James Vanderbeek to do a movie together set in rural Alabama, just so they can both use their god-awful Alabama accents. I don't want your life. It looks like town.
As well as the NBA, the early odds are out next year.
I'm going to lose my mind about that this afternoon.
For the NBA title, the Los Angeles Lakers, who just took home the title against the Miami Heat, they are the favorite going into next year, but there are some big numbers in the betting lines against some teams that should not be, the lines are a little off, in my opinion. So we'll talk about that on the ESPN Asheville show this afternoon as well. This is the Sportsocracy, at the Sportsocracy on all of the social medias. Like it, share it, follow it, send in your topic ideas, all of that good stuff. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene.
You call your friends. We'll call our friends. And we can be friends.
We'll see you this afternoon on ESPN. Asheville, heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. The Sports Tank with Jeremy Greene. 3 to 5 weekdays. We'll be back here in the Sportsocracy tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.